Chairman Stoneman, the Bureau's Rock Springs Resource Management Plan will devastate the people of Southwest Wyoming, lock up millions of acres of land, local communities, the entire state relies on those lands. The governor, state legislature, county commissioners, local communities all strongly oppose this plan. So why are you ignoring Wyoming's opposition to the plan across the board?
Senator, thanks for the question. As you know, the Rock Springs plan is, there's a draft out. There was a public comment period. There was a lot of hyperbole about facts that were not true about the plan. So we've done a lot of education work with your constituents about what's in the plan. More importantly, we extended the public comment period and worked with the governor. He stood up a task force, and those folks got to walk in the shoes of our BLM field staff in Rock Springs to give us recommendations for the final. We're digging in, looking at those recommendations, and I am certain that Wyomingites will see their voices reflected in the final.
Well, I just hope the BLM does not dig in, but actually reverses course on this issue. Last month, the Bureau took steps to prohibit coal leasing in the Powder River Basin. The Bureau claims that coal production in the region won't be impacted until the year 2038, so 14 years from now. The Bureau claims that existing leases are sufficient to meet expected demand for coal. My question then is, why is the Bureau taking this action now if you don't say it's going to have any impact for at least 14 years?
Senator, thanks for the question. As you know, the President has asked us to turn and transition to a clean energy economy. The lands in the Powder River Basin are leased through 2041. And so you see the draft or the final before you. The record of decision is still in formulation.
Well, I'd point out that the front page story in the New York Times not too long ago pointed out that this president's pipe dream is not actually something that can be possibly done in our country and our needs for energy, as the committee hearings have shown again and again and again. I think this plan is completely reckless. Last year, the Powder River Basin supplied 45% of all the coal mined in the United States, and if this carbon-free grid doesn't materialize, and I don't believe it will, what do? You suggest that we start importing coal from China and other places?
Senator, I have great faith in the ingenuity of the American people. We are hard at work every day. We have permitted 7.9 gigawatts in just 3.5 years. I believe we can reach the transition the President has asked us to reach.
Well, I agree that the ingenuity of the American people, it's really hard when your agency continues to block efforts to produce the critical minerals that we need and so much of the product that we need for the American economy. So in April, your Bureau issued a rule that will dramatically raise bonding requirements on oil and gas producers. This is money that producers must pay up front in order to operate on federal lands. According to the data from your own department, there were only 37 abandoned wells on lands managed by the Bureau. It's less than 0.1% of all the wells that the Bureau manages. So how do you justify your decision to increase bonding requirements by as much as 25-fold?
Senator, both the Government Accountability Office and the Inspector General have written reports that suggest, I think rightly so, that our bonding rates, which are over 60 years old, are not high enough. We have thousands of idled wells on our public lands, and idled wells are the last stop before they become orphaned. Not all of them become orphaned, but the GAO found that thousands of them will.
Yeah, well, I don't buy it. This rule to me is completely arbitrary, it's punitive, and you're trying to drive oil and gas producers off federal land. I think it's disgraceful. Finally, in my remaining time, Wyoming is home to the large population of greater sage grouse and its habitat. For over 15 years, with Republican governors, Democrat governors working together, Wyoming has been at the forefront of adopting new management approaches to protect the species. Instead of working with Wyoming, your Bureau plans to upend the state's successful efforts at balancing conservation with economic development. Why are you ignoring a state that has proven time and again that it can successfully protect the species?
Senator, respectfully, I have a different view on our work with your state. We've been meeting twice weekly with the state of Wyoming as we develop the sage grouse plans. The only way to make these plans work is to work together with our partners in the states, and we have been doing so, and Wyoming has been helping us lead the way with the sage grouse task force at WGA. We are literally line editing the documents together, so I believe that they are going to have the durability that they need for success for the sage grouse.
Yeah, John Kennedy spoke at the University of Wyoming in 1963, and it was part of his tour of conservation in the West. And he said, we need to maintain a living balance between man's actions and nature's reactions. I have a picture of him giving that speech. Tom Udall's dad, who was Secretary of Interior, was with him that day in Wyoming, and it just seems that the BLM has gone a long way away from maintaining a living balance and basically trying to shut down the state of Wyoming. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Cortez Masto.